Yo, what's good? Salute, salute. Freedom marcher, freedom family, freedom lovers and freedom family, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla gorillas in the building. Hollering at y'all with this quick live stream. I need to wipe these damn glasses. Anyway, how y'all doing this Saturday afternoon? Hope everybody's beating the heat, staying hydrated. It's hot in the mug, man. But me and the kids were on our way to the arcade, so wanted to get out the house. But also go somewhere where it's not too hot. So that's what we're doing this afternoon. Anyway, salute to y'all. This afternoon, I wanted to talk about one of the most important things in this world right now in regards to individual freedoms, okay? In regards to individual freedoms, because as humans, we have a right to enjoy our individual freedoms. And damn, that didn't help at all. Every moment of every day, we have people that try and take more and more of our rights away, one piece of legislation at a time, okay? And in regards to the right to keep and bear arms, there are about 20,000 gun control laws in this country, on the state level and on the federal level. That means that 20,000 times a group of individuals violated our rights and got away with it. How did they get away with it? Well, because they're obviously enforcing these laws, right? They are depriving us of our rights under the color of law every day. And every day they get away with it. And the reason this is because they have led us to believe that they are doing these things, right, for public safety, for your own safety, all this bullshit, right? When we know that these laws don't stop criminals. They don't stop criminals from doing what they want to do. And when it comes to gun control laws, well, these criminals, they ignore those. They ignore them, right? They ignore them. They get the guns anyway. They carry the guns anyway. They modify their weapons so they can be fully automatic anyway. It doesn't matter how many laws are on the books. But these laws aren't created to stop criminals, right? They're not there to stop criminals. They're not there to prevent crime. These laws are in place to keep the everyday average individual in check. Glizzy, what's good? Igor, Brother Shelton's in the building. And Lid House, salute to you. What happened to your name, man? You shorten your name? Assalamu alaikum assalam, brother. These criminals don't give a hot damn about a law. And so when it comes to individual freedoms, why should we then there is no reason for you to follow these laws, right? Like I said, the laws are not there to prevent crime. They're not there to stop criminals at all whatsoever. These criminals, they make the decision every day to commit the crime they're going to commit, to break the law they want to break, knowing the risk. They don't care about the risk. You know who cares about the risk? You know who cares about not violating these laws? Individuals that would not commit crimes in the first place. Somebody says this is a horrible driving habit. I don't understand what you mean by that, but okay. I am driving very carefully and expertly. But, you know, it is what it is. Yuri Branding, Lit House, that's what's up. So, what I'm talking about in particular today is this law, or this thing where they use this law that gave the cops it gave the cops the go ahead to go ahead and stop somebody for carrying a gun. There is a thing out there where I won't say it's a law, but it's one of those things where it's like stop and frisk. They implemented stop and frisk, and this allowed cops to stop people on because of an articulable, reasonable suspicion of crime. You don't actually have to be committing a crime. You don't even have to be in the progress of committing a crime. They can just say, well, you know, we can articulate why we feel like this person is suspicious, and they can stop you. That is what basically stop and frisk is. So, this derived from this led where in Louisiana a man was carrying a gun, and the cops stopped him because he was carrying a gun, and they placed him under arrest simply because he was carrying a gun, not because he was actually committing a crime, right? They stopped this dude violating his rights, invading upon his privacy, simply because they saw him carrying a gun. We're talking about Louisiana, and this is before constitutional carry was implemented in Louisiana, or in New Orleans. So they stopped this dude because he was carrying a gun, and so they searched him illegally, right? They committed an unlawful search and seizure of his person. They found marijuana on him, and then they didn't just stop there. They placed him under arrest, right? They placed him under arrest, went to his house, the search warrant, searched his house, found more weed. So now this dude was placed under arrest, and they tried to convict this dude. They tried to, put this man in prison because he had marijuana, right? They charged him with a bunch of bullshit. They charged him with, carrying a firearm in a commission. They just kind of stuff because the cops decided that they were going to search this dude for no real reason at all whatsoever. They violated their oath. They violated his rights. They violated the Fourth Amendment. They violated the Second Amendment. The Fourth Amendment says that you have the right to be secure in your persons, papers, houses, and effects from unreasonable search and seizure, right? Without probable cause and without a warrant, right? Well, this law, this stop and frisk nonsense, they went rolling on that. They said, well, he was suspicious. He wasn't committing a crime, but it looked like he might commit a crime, or he might have committed a crime in the past. So it's straight up bullshit, right? It's discrimination. It's all that type of shit. Anarchy Television, salute to you. Donald T, salute. So what ended up happening was the dude took these people to court. Took the state to court, and the lower court denied him his rights, and they would not do anything about these cops with this law, right? And just recently, this guy, he continued to appeal and appeal and appeal, and the higher court, I think the Fifth Circuit, federal court, did the right thing, did what they were supposed to do. They said you cannot any longer, Stephen X, salute to you, brother, assalamu alaikum. This Fifth Circuit court judge, well, it was a panel of judges, said that the pigs are not allowed to search anybody or to place someone under detainment to search them simply because they're carrying a gun. because that violates the Second Amendment. And this is a very significant decision, a very important and positive decision that was put in place, that was made by a federal court. Right? Listen, in this unjust system that's going to try and justify violating people's rights. And even though this was a great thing that happened, basically now in the Fifth Circuit, cops cannot search any. So a shirt is clinging to you and you're printing your firearm. They can't stop you simply because you're going about your daily life, minding your own business while carrying a gun. And this is something that should never have been done in the first place. Right? Cops, pigs, street pirates, whatever you want to call them, should never have been able to do anything like this. Now, your boy, what's that dude's name? Goddamn, the lawyer from New York that was the mayor that implemented stop and frisk in New York. And they tried to correlate, or they tried to say that this reduced crime in New York. Guys, come on, guys. Whatever his name is, the mayor that, what's that dude's name? The mayor of New York. God damn it. Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani was notorious for implementing stop and frisk in New York, violating hundreds and hundreds of people's rights. Many of whom were black people who had a certain fashion sense or had a certain swagger to them. You know, they love our culture, but they don't love us. You understand what I'm talking about? But nonetheless, that was a clear violation. That was something they had to stop doing in New York because it's a clear violation, right? It violates the First Amendment or Fourth Amendment. Actually, it does violate the First Amendment because you are being detained and you are being searched simply because you are expressing yourself in a certain way that they don't understand or they don't like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bloomberg, Giuliani, and then you have the gang injunction in Los Angeles. So if they felt like you were part of a gang because you were wearing a certain color or you had a tattoo, they could do the same thing. These are clear violations of human rights. And so this is what they used. I forgot what that act was called. It wasn't called stop and frisk. It's something different. Someone tells me to talk to my kids. If you want me to talk to my kids, why are you talking to me? Make it make sense. I talk to my kids all the time. Don't worry about that. Anyway, so buckle your children in and pay attention. Anyway, y'all. So these are clear violations of human rights. Violations that violate 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242. The people, the street pirates that arrested this dude and took his marijuana and all that other stuff, searched his house, they should be placed under arrest. They violated 18 U.S. Code 242.
Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
18 U.S. Code 242 gives, it gives the so-called justice system the ability to place corrupt individuals that use the law to abuse other people. It gives them a clear path to punish these people and make examples out of them. So now that this Fifth Court Circuit has made the right decision, and we know that the government rarely makes the right decision, right? But we have to take every advantage we can get. We have to take every advantage that we can get to exercise our rights in general. Simply because we are free individuals, right? We're supposed to be free individuals. We're supposed to be able to enjoy our rights and privileges. Now, here's one thing that one of the judges said about this case that is completely incorrect, right? Completely incorrect. He says, you know, if they violate your Fourth Amendment, right, by searching your vehicle while you're driving or violating your rights to drive or something like that, he said that the right to keep and bear arms is a right, whereas driving and owning a car is a privilege. Therefore, blah, 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 you can't use the same nonsense that you use to violate people's rights to drive and own a vehicle and drive on the road. You can't use that to violate a person's right to keep bear arms. Well, guess what? Driving is a form of travel. And owning a vehicle is your right, right? If you own a vehicle, it's yours. You have the right to travel using your vehicle. So I don't know why they talk about this privilege versus rights thing when you have the right to enjoy any privilege you choose. So what are we talking about? Like, this is what I don't understand that. Like, you have right to privileges. Just because it's a privilege doesn't mean it's not a right. You understand what I'm talking about? I don't make any distinction between a privilege and a right. But some people do. But you know what doesn't? You know what doesn't make a distinction between a privilege and a right? 18 U.S. Code 242. 18 U.S. Code 242 does not make any distinctions between a violation of your rights and a violation of your privileges. Just look it up. It says rights and privileges because the person that implemented that, the person or the people that came up with that U.S. code understood that a privilege is just another way of saying that you had the right. You enjoy privileges because you have the right to. If someone violates your right to enjoy privileges, they are violating your rights. There's no distinction, right? Now, a right is a fundamental thing, right? It's born in nature. It's something that is, some people might say is God-given. You're born with it, right? You're born with the right to breathe. You're born with the right to defend yourself by any means necessary. That's where the right comes in. Think about it. You have the right to defend yourself against any aggressor towards you by any means necessary. Now, you can do that any way you can. And one of those things might be, well, you have a privilege. You have the privilege to use a firearm to do it, to defend yourself. That is a privilege. It's not necessarily something that is a fundamental need, right? The need is to defend yourself. Your right is to defend yourself. Well, if you can afford a firearm and you can afford ammunition, that's a privilege, right? That you earned. But you still have the right to carry that firearm and use it to defend yourself. Does that make sense? Just like you have the freedom of travel. Well, you have the freedom of travel, right? That's a right. You have the right to travel as you see fit. Well, if you own a vehicle, well, you have a privilege. That is a privileged thing to have, is to have that vehicle. Okay, well, you can have a horse and buggy or you can have a car. But the act of traveling is your right. Now, if you're using your feet to do so, well, you're using the most basic way or the basic form of travel. But if you own a car, yes, that is a privilege because it's a luxury. You understand what I'm talking about?
Okay, so then you're asking the trusting and paying God.
Stop feeding this BS to the people, this person says. What BS am I feeding to the people? Someone asked if I'm driving. Whatever, man. Y'all pay attention. Let's stop. Y'all focus on what y'all want to focus on. Y'all can focus on the message of freedom or y'all can focus on me driving. You know, whatever y'all want to do, it's all good. But I tell you what, every time I do this, since 2019, or 2018 actually, no, 2019, I've been doing this since 2019, and you know, I've been driving and doing live streams since 2019, and y'all say the same shit every single time. Nonetheless, there are still people that come and receive the message. No, Rob North, you misunderstand. Driving is a privilege and a right. And it's only a privilege because it's a luxury that is not necessary for traveling. Just like flying in an airplane from one place to another. That's a privilege if you can afford to do so. But it's also a right because you're using an airplane to travel. Driving is a privilege and a right. I don't know what's are y'all retarded? Driving, privileges and rights are not mutually exclusive. Bosney says wrong. Look up 18 U.S. Code 242. You have the right. Roll the window up. You have the right to enjoy any privilege. I said roll the window up. Why you want rolling it down? I'm talking to Anuket. You have the right to enjoy any privilege that you so choose. You feel sorry for my children? I don't know why. They're less miserable than you are, apparently. They're less miserable than you are. We're on our way to go have fun. Meanwhile, you're watching me trolling because you have nothing better to do. Because I'm putting them in danger. No. Y'all can go on ahead with you. All right. Any of my mods still in the building? Because these people are clearly, they have a problem with me driving while doing the live stream. So if they're complaining about it, they obviously don't want to be here. They just don't recognize that. So y'all can go ahead and get rid of anybody that is making an issue of me driving. Emotional black raised by females. Anyway, so privileges are rights. What I'm encouraging y'all is taking every advantage y'all can get to empower yourselves. They just shot down. There was another judge in California that shot down the ammunition background check requirement. They shot that down. So now, if you live in California, you can buy ammo you can buy as much ammo as you want without worrying about doing a background check. You don't have to do a background check. You ain't got to wait. You ain't got to do none of that nonsense. And you can now purchase ammo and have it delivered to your doorstep. Freedom's March needs to be reported. Go ahead and report me. Go ahead. I'm not violating any YouTube guidelines, so go ahead and report me. Bro hotboxing his kids, for sure. Tech says right to travel. Yes, you have the right to travel. Absolutely. And you can drive to travel. That's a privilege because it's not a necessity. Traveling is a necessity. That's why it's a right. How you travel, that's a different story, but it's still a right. And it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter regardless, because if you infringe on someone's rights or privileges, 18 U.S. Code 242 covers that. Y'all are getting caught up in the weeds. This person says you can't drive and travel You're only traveling. Oh my goodness gracious, man. Like Blue Blood said, stupidity is contagious. Blue Blood is right on point. Paying attention is free. He says that as well. Paying attention is free. Straight Godzilla, salute to you, brother. How are you enjoying North Carolina? You know what I know the law is? I know that laws, real laws, cannot be violated by anyone. I know that man-made laws are not real laws. That's what I know about laws. Now, laws like the law of gravity, the law of thermodynamics, the law of entropy cannot be violated. And these are not laws that are made by man or can be made by man. This dude says, tell that to the courts. Okay. What court am I going to? You do need a license. Requiring a license is a violation of human rights. It's a violation. But y'all don't understand that because you guys are status. You guys were raised in status. And you guys have been brainwashed. Actually, you guys have been manipulated. You guys have been manipulated by this government and by the media. And you actually think that a permission slip is something that is valid. They require a license for you to go hunting in some places and to go fishing. So that means what? That means that if you don't, if you want to feed yourself, you have to pay the government for permission. And you guys think this is okay. Because they'll tell you, oh, well, you know, if you hunt too much, you're going to kill all the animals. Okay, so let's say you go hunting for deer, right? They require you to pay for a license to hunt for deer when the deer population in the United States is out of control. The deer population in the United States is out of control. Ken Garjay, salute to you. See, Ken Garjay understands the message. Violating, y'all think that the government knows what's best, right? When has the government demonstrated that they know what's best for this country? How many wars have they dragged us into? How much extortion are they going to foist on y'all before y'all realize that the government doesn't know what's best? You know, someone says poor kids. I was military. Horrible father, shame on you. I'm glad you guys came to critique my father. I really appreciate that. You guys are great. You're probably one of those people that don't want to have children because you're selfish. You're probably one of those modern females or those modern dudes that are virgins at 30-something years old. It's okay. I know you guys are so worried and focused on my driving. But once again, there are those who are going to get the message. And they're going to subscribe to receive more of the messages when I do these live streams because they understand what's most important. You know, in South Carolina, they have some of the worst driving in the country. It was like that before I got here. Salute. I'm probably one of the best drivers in South Carolina. I don't tailgate people. I don't cut people off and slow down. I stay with the flow of traffic. No one has to brake around me. All the times that I do my live streams when I'm driving, when have you ever seen me have to make sudden movements with the vehicle? Yeah, you're a motherless troll. Sure, why not? If you want to say that, that's what I said. Robert says, check out 8 USC 1401, brother. Are you a national or claiming to be a citizen? Well, what I am is a free individual. I'm a human being. That's what I am. What the heck is going on with this air conditioning? It's way too cold, hot for that. Anyway, what I do know is the guy that took his case to court because he was violated by those police officers because he was carrying a gun. Well, he did a great thing for the rest of us. We just have to recognize that and take advantage of it. Just like in California, go buy you as much ammo as you can. Go to Ammo Squared. Ammo Squared, where you can get reasonably priced ammunition. What you do is you set up a subscription, and every month they take a certain amount of money toward ammunition you want to buy, and they'll ship it to you. They'll ship it to you for whatever you set it for. So let's say you want 9mm ammunition. You can put $10 a month towards that ammunition, and they'll send you the ammunition